Hello and welcome to Cut 2 with Vivek and Viru, a podcast where we travel to a different part of the world every week, through cinema, of course, and talk about how we felt while watching the film from that part of the world. We don't do a technical review per se, but we do talk about some interesting aspects of the film and how we felt about it. So it does have spoilers. If you haven't watched the film yet, beware. And today we are in the land of opportunity, America. So, Vivek, tell us something about the film.
Today we are going to talk about a very special film called Minari, directed by Lee Isaac Chung. Minari talks about a nuclear family trying to start a life in 1980s Arkansas. And while that sounds like a very simple premise, this film has so much more meat to it. Some of the movie themes that this film covers, like Viru said, is the great American dream through an immigrant experience filled with ambition and purpose, broken marriage, generation gap, culture divide, faith in religion
Right.
or the lack thereof, and so much more.
Yeah, I mean, it feels like a very simple film when you actually watch it. But yeah, there are a lot of things that you can take out from it. So, and we are going to talk about exactly that. Let's start with the American dream, man. We've seen so many films. Whenever we talk about this going from your village or your country to some other country or some other city, and तो उसमें hardships वगैरह होता ही है. And you're trying to do something which is different. You're trying to do better for your family, and this is all about that.
Yeah, and Viru, when I was watching this film, I also kind of remembered because my family, my dad used to work in Kuwait and then Dubai.
अच्छा.
And they had moved from India, and the stories that my parents have kind of told me all these years that they
हाँ.
had nothing in their pockets. They went there to Kuwait and they used to do oddball jobs to make money
Okay.
and to make ends meet,
हाँ.
eventually becoming these, really rich businessmen. And I
हाँ.
remember this one really interesting story because when I saw them selecting that plot of land to start farming, right in the movie,
Right.
Dad had told me the story of when they had to buy a house, when finally he could afford a house. They were asked to throw a piece of pebble in this vast expanse because Kuwait was all desert, right? It was not,
What?
yeah, there were no buildings, etc. And the guy who had kind of hired, he was a rich Saudi guy. And when he was kind of giving dad that perk of you can buy a house, there would be a
Uh-huh.
building within 2 years. So he would just throw a pebble, and that in that area, whatever that building comes up, that building, in that the family would get a flat. That's how they used to
Amazing.
give. Yeah, that's how they used to kind of give flats and stuff to immigrants who of course worked their ass off for years and years and then
Absolutely.
earned that right. So it brought back a lot of these stories. And like you rightly said, immigrant families, they would have had it so tough to kind of move to a alien land and make ends meet for their families, right?
Right. 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 Absolutely. I mean, look at the job that they start. Obviously, when he goes there, he wants to do farming. That is the primary purpose of him going there. But his profession is actually he's a chicken sexer, right? He actually
Yeah,
uh,
yeah,
figures out the male or female chick कौन सा है,
yeah,
and it's apparently really tough. मतलब his wife struggles with it,
yeah,
and he's
yeah.
like an
I
expert. That is why he's called there. I
Yeah,
found it extremely interesting because ऐसा कभी मैंने देखा नहीं था. I mean, they actually throw
exactly.
away the male chickens, right?
Chickens. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I didn't even know this was a thing. Chicken sexer is something that is my main takeaway from the film. Like, this is what I've learned after
मैंने
watching
ना
the film.
एक्चुअली YouTube पे जाके I saw some videos on it. हाँ, मतलब because I was so intrigued. I was like, actually कर क्या रहे? They're just checking out their anus, like the anus of the chicken,
हाँ,
right? क्या देख रहे हैं
हाँ.
उसमें? तो I figured मैंने थोड़ा videos देखना चालू किया तो in one of the videos they were just showing कि through the wings कि ये wing ऐसा है, थोड़ा जुड़ा हुआ है तो this is
Hmm.
male ऐसे करके, and every time he was doing it I was trying to figure out what is the sex, but मेरे को नहीं समझ में आ रहा था gender क्या है. Then the other video actually went into like 90% accuracy से you can do it through the anus. And then
Okay.
it's like एकदम close up view दे रहा है उसका और बोल रहा है कि if it there is a protrusion and all. I mean, I was like, oh my god,
God.
if this is the job and you have to like वो crates में से chicken को उठा उठा के करना है, वो भी timed, you are timed, right? That guy I think would be getting more money just because he can do many more than others, right? उसका pace के
Yeah.
हिसाब से पैसा मिलता होगा. So that is what they do as a profession. Amazing. I mean, that was like hilarious. And I mean, they are in this new place. तो मुझे वहां पे पहले first I got this whole vibe कि maybe this is about the kind of racism that they will face there, right? When they actually reach that place, it's actually they are in Arkansas, right? हाँ, एंड आर्किंसा, रूरल आर्किंसा. तो वो भी आई वाज थिंकिंग कि ऐसे जगह पे तो आई मीन वाइट सुप्रीमेसी और वो सब का बहुत रहेगा, सो दे विल फेस अ लॉट ऑफ दिस प्रॉब्लम. बट it was kind of refreshing to see कि initially they do when they actually go to the church, they do face some kind of racism, but it's very subtle. Like वो बच्चे लोग, it's almost out of curiosity, right? वो सो बच्चे को पूछता है तुम्हारा नाक ऐसा फ्लैट क्यों है.
Why is your
And
face flat? Yeah.
why is your face flat? And the other girl kind of उसको कुछ भी random words बोलती है, चिंग चोंग पिंग पोंग.
Yeah.
So that kind of thing, but उसके बाद it didn't escalate.
At that point of time, this thought crossed my mind as well. I think when the playing field is leveled, right, it doesn't matter if you're black, white, you're from the land or you're from outside. When it comes to survival instinct, I think everyone is leveled, and I think even the kid who was mildly racist, it is such an innocent suggestion of racism. He also doesn't know that it's
Right.
racism because even his father is a farmer, and I think
Yeah.
that scene at the breakfast table with the two kids and the father, where he says that there was another farmer who used to stay on that land, and he
Uh-huh.
killed himself because he
Oh,
couldn't
right, right.
make ends meet. And everyone else, actually, where the Americans are finding the wife really cute, the face of the wife really cute, and not really opposed to the whole idea of someone from Korea moving in here, because I think all of them were farmers. That was their religion.
Right,
They were
right.
workers, so they didn't care
Absolutely.
about these divides.
True. Actually, मेरे को ना starting से this film somehow gave me a very spooky feel, and it was mainly because of the protagonist Stephen Yeun. So that guy basically is, I've seen him in The Walking Dead. उसमें he was like one of the primary characters. तो इसमें भी starting में if you see the scene, उसमें एकदम ऐसे वो लोग कार में जा रहे हैं. There is
Yeah,
no one there, right? It's like an empty land. मेरे को
yeah,
लगा उसी का एक्सटेंशन चल रहा है वॉकिंग डेड का. ये सेम गाय है. इट्स लाइक एन एक्सटेंशन, एंड देन दे रीच दिस प्लेस और वहां पे एक वो घर का जैसा वैन है, राइट?
yeah, yeah,
एंड वॉकिंग डेड होता ना तो एग्जैक्टली सेम सीन होता है. एंड एज सून एज दे ओपन देयर हाउस एंड दे गेट इन, वहां पे ऑब्वियसली देयर विल बी ज़ॉम्बीज दैट अटैक. तो वो जैसे दरवाजा खोलता है मुझे लगा अभी अटैक होगा, राइट? ये स्पूकी वाइब आई वाज गेटिंग इवन when that guy comes na. There is another
the
guy who helps him out
Paul.
in farming.
Yeah,
Paul, he's a weird character.
yeah,
When he
yeah,
comes in, I thought that this guy is going to be like some kind of a murderer.
yeah, yeah.
वो
You
वैसा
you
ही
know,
vibe देता
yeah.
है ऐसे.
Throughout the film, I have been on the edge.
हाँ,
Like there is something really bad that is going to happen. First instance, when he talks about this religion and all that, I thought, oh my God, he's going to. And he talks about exorcism, right? In the first
like
scene.
he
And
and he actually does it.
yeah,
he
I was
uh,
I was like he's going to do some exorcism on the children. Oh my God, like I was like, oh shit, this is going like to be a
uh,
thriller slasher flick or something like that.
he's so committed to them, but also so weird. I
Yeah.
mean, वो जो scene है when they are coming back from the church or something on Sunday, and they watch him एक cross लेके आदमी जा रहा है पता चलता है, और फिर देखते हैं तो he's like walking there, and they are
Yeah.
shocked to see him
Yeah.
like carry this
Yeah.
huge cross. एंड आई वाज लाइक ये क्या बंदा है यार, टू मच है ये, कुछ तो होने वाला है इसमें।
Yeah. And
एक्सोर्सिज्म हो रहा है।
and Viru, you remember at least 3 or 4 times the little kid keeps saying, "You're not a real grandma. You're not a real grandma."
हाँ
I,
हाँ हाँ,
I was
मुझे
thinking
क्या लगा।
even this. I thought even grandma is going to be spooky. So, l-
नहीं, but the
matlab,
grandma is so awesome, man.
yeah, she was.
Oh
She
man,
won
I
the
mean,
best.
I
She
love,
won an Oscar for her role as best supporting actress.
yes, she's too good. I mean, उसमें मेरे को मतलब यूनिक ये लगा कि उनके कल्चर के बारे में दिस फिल्म गिव्स क्वाइट अ नाइस इनसाइट। वो जब ग्रैंडमा आती है तो वो जैसे इंडियन जैसा ही लग रहा था, वो बहुत सारी चीजें ले आती है
Yeah,
वहां से, राइट, ऑल द
yeah,
स्पाइसेस
yeah.
एंड शी
And that
ऑल्सो,
that makes the
शी
daughter
बिकॉज
cry.
and the grandson, like ये क्या है, she's smelly, because of
Yeah,
all the spices, they smell
yeah,
different यार। तो वो जब
yeah,
आती है तो वो उसको, उन लोग को लगता है she stinks, and
yeah,
she's not like any other American grandma, right, who makes cookies, takes care of
yeah,
kids। ये भाई
yeah.
ये अपना कोक पीती है और टीवी देखती है, रेसलिंग रेसलिंग देखती है।
Wrestling.
It's so funny, and the relationship between that kid and the grandma, how it kind of changes from the beginning। मतलब पहले तो indifference होता है, फिर उसके बाद animosity, मतलब animosity from the kids एंगल, उसको ऐसा लगता है कि ये क्या ग्रैंड मदर है, ये वो, उसको भगाने का कोशिश, देन ही स्टार्ट्स टू लाइक हर, राइट। तो वो जो ग्रोथ है वो फिल्म में, उस वो रिलेशनशिप का, दैट आई रियली रियली लव।
I think the guy's name is David, the little
हाँ,
kid.
डेविड,
She takes him out for a walk the first time, and
हाँ,
when he runs away from her, that time also I thought that इसको कुछ होने वाला है. Abhi he's going
absolutely,
to.
like she becomes his strength after that, like
Yeah,
obviously his
yeah,
mother, she does not allow him to run, she's very careful
yeah,
with what he does
yeah,
because of the problem in his heart, but
yeah,
grandma has the, sees the strength in him, एंड वो जब उसको लेके चलने को लेके जाती है, एंड में वो भाग के उनको पकड़ता है, राइट, तो इट,
yeah. That was a
दैट
beautiful scene.
I mean, yeah, some things do go right end mein, when
Yeah.
they see a glimmer of hope with him. But yeah, I mean that relationship I really like.
Actually, the film
Mhm.
is from the eyes of the son, because while you were
Okay.
talking about the grandmom and David,
Mhm.
I also really like the relationship between David and his father. So how David becomes the center of the universe for the film, because if you see his father, Jacob,
Mhm.
you can right from the start of the film you can see that typical immigrant dad pressure on his face,
हाँ, एकदम
that
ऐसा
he
हार्ड वर्किंग कि मेरे
yeah,
सारी दुनिया का बोझ मैं उठाता हूँ,
मैं
ऐसा
उठा रहा हूँ.
टाइप।
Also, this film felt like it's filled with so many metaphors, because when he's mowing the farm, right, with on that tractor, it almost felt like a metaphor where he's laying the groundwork for his family and his the future generations. But
Right.
he's so, somewhere I felt he was so helpless, because who's going to take on after him? Like, his son
Mhm.
is facing this heart condition.
Right.
His wife doesn't believe in what he is doing. डॉटर का तो ज्यादा उसके साथ रिलेशनशिप था नहीं, दिखाया नहीं है. Those little pieces of advice to his son, where he says Americans use, I mean, the world uses superstitions, Koreans use their mind.
Mind.
And when he
Right.
finally finds water, or when he teaches his son over a cigarette break, why the male chicks are
हाँ.
sent, and
Right.
he subtly tells him that you better make yourself useful without criticizing, his
Right.
health.
Right.
So, I found those moments very understated, but really, really strong between the father and son.
And now that you say that, I found one scene also very spooky. Uh, so this guy does a prank on a grandma. I'm not going to reveal what. It's funny to
Yeah,
watch.
people
उसके
have to
बाद
watch
ये
that.
तो वो
Yeah,
डांटता है और वो बोलता है वो स्टिक लेके आओ बाहर से, ठीक है।
yeah,
वो जाता है
yeah,
बाहर, एंड दैट टाइम आई वाज लाइक ये लोग अंदर झगड़ा कर रहे हैं, कुछ तो होने वाला है बाहर। ही कीप्स वॉकिंग अवे फ्रॉम दैट होल
yeah,
ट्रेलर, एंड
yeah.
दैट टाइम आई वाज लाइक गया, ये लड़का गया। बट
I thought
बट
I
देन
thought I thought Paul will abduct him.
ओ माय गॉड, पॉल, पॉल का तो, व्हाट इज द सिग्निफिकेंस दैट यू फाउंड अबाउट मिनारी एंड, तो क्योंकि एंड में वो flower भी खिलते हुए दिखाते हैं. So did you
Yeah.
like
The
kind of feel that
yeah,
that had some significance in it कि ऐसे ही नाम दे
hun,
दिया?
nahi, nahi, 100%. When I started watching it, I didn't know, of course, what Minari means.
हाँ
Once I saw that there is a plant called Minari, so after the film, the first thing I googled
हाँ.
was the meaning of Minari, and so it is a plant that is commonly used in Korean cooking,
Is it
but
dhania? It's like dhania,
yeah,
right?
it's like you can say like more than that. It's like pudina, Viru.
अच्छा
It's like
अच्छा.
it has a medical significance as well. Like the grandmother says that it can drive your worries away. It can make you feel at peace. So like how pudina is good for digestion, pudina is good for
हाँ.
cold, etc., etc. The interesting bit about Minari that I found was that this plant thrives in harsh conditions, and it gets
हाँ.
interesting. It
Okay.
actually grows best after another plant has grown and died in the same area. So
Oh,
the
oh, that
significance of
then it's
Minari,
like, oh,
yeah,
okay.
the significance of Minari, it perfectly explains the film's symbolic message, right? When the father
Right.
lost everything in the farm he's been fighting for, they ultimately
Mhm.
thrive under harsh conditions by trading that
Right.
same Minari. So it
Right.
was, when I read it, I was like, oh damn, like क्या सोचा
Okay,
है?
I didn't know this. हाँ ये मतलब this is like next level. मेरे को तो सिर्फ इतना लग रहा था hardships में it thrives is what I took out of it. But तूने
Yeah.
तो मतलब बिनारे का find out करके it's next level कि death के बाद
हाँ, जहाँ
it
पे
grows better.
the soil that is dead ना, वो
हाँ.
भी वहाँ भी it will grow and thrive. So it is
Amazing.
amazing. Like that was like my best metaphor that they have. That's the
Right.
name of the film, but that was
हाँ.
the best metaphor that I found. I thought it was really interesting.
That's great, man. So the film actually quite well in the awards. Golden Globe gave it like a royal snub, and Oscar may yeah it didn't win the best film, but I think I liked another round a little more than this.
Okay.
I
Okay.
somehow I felt that was the right choice. What did you feel?
I found this one to be a little more stronger in terms of the way the story was told,
Acha.
almost like a dream, so gently told. It was not
Right,
even at one point it was not over dramatic, or there was
right.
nothing that I felt was out of its place.
Yeah, I think I have a new appreciation for it after the discussion that we have had. Seriously, मतलब when I first watched the film, I was like, ठीक है, it's like a normal American dream, hardship के साथ कैसे तो जीना है, ऐसा टाइप का फिल्म है. But now that I mean we have discussed it, मेरे को थोड़ा सा उसका थोड़ा ये appreciation ज्यादा हुआ है, though I still like another round a little
Around
more. But I think इसमें है ना this became a very important part this year because of the whole campaign about stop Asian hate,
right,
which is
right,
very
right,
strong, and
right.
that's why it also got a lot of backing, and plus
Hmm.
Golden Globe they did such a faux pas or whatever a mistake. What they did
Hmm.
was basically put it in the foreign film category, but this was an actual American film. Everyone, like the
Ah.
director, and it's like an American production. It's just that uh, some 50% or more of it is in Korean.
Yeah, I mean, if Brad Pitt is your producer, it can't get more American than that, could it?
Is he the producer? Acha, I didn't
Yeah.
know this.
And I have to thank you because you pushed me to watch this film. I hadn't watched it because I thought again, yeah, it's an Oscar film, so commercial hoga. I don't want to
Right.
watch it, but you kind of pushed me to watch this film, so thank you for
Yeah,
that.
you're welcome. And I felt that these two were the perfect start for the whole podcast. Great that we could watch both of them and kind of talk about both of them. So
Yeah.
you guys would have, if you have kind of listened to both of them and have seen both the films, do let us know about your thoughts on the films and which one do you think should have won the Oscar,
Yeah. Oscar. Yeah.
right? So that's it for the show. Vivek, any closing comments?
Please send in your echoes in terms of what are the other films that we should watch. We are excited to kind of explore movies. So even if no one has heard them, we'll dig them out and we'll watch them and we'll talk about it.
Absolutely, and do give us feedback. This is
Yeah,
only the second time we are doing this, and yeah, we have a long way to go. So, kuch feedback,
yeah.
any positive feedback, that is great. Any criticism is good because we really want to improve. Yeah, and do follow our Insta page and subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Channel. Yes, please.
All right. Thank you, guys. Bye.